I'm very pleased with the performance and the result, obviously. After a difficult period where we had 2 defeats, where I don't think the team merited to lose the games, but we did. We needed our reaction, we needed the points, which we have today. And we started the game a little bit nervous. The first 15 minutes, you could tell that we were carrying still some of that feeling, but after, I think the performance was really strong.
When you concede with the first chance a goal, an easy one, then the momentum of the game changes completely. The signs before the game haven't been the best with all the injuries we had and also suspended players, so we had to change a few things, and yeah, the automatism are not so there. Also the set pieces is also not surprising. The Premier League shows you every weakness you have, and after the changes we had to do, it was clear that in some parts of the game it will not work perfect.
3 games in a row now, you've scored in a good vein of form. Your celebration maybe suggested that headers aren't a regular source of goals for you, though.
No, it isn't. So I think it's the first one, you know. Different feeling, but nice to score with the header spot.
No Aubameyang today. Can you tell me why?
Because he had a disciplinary breach, and that applies to everybody. That's a non-negotiable, and when that happens, he's out of the team.
Are you going to expand on what the breach was?
No.
And because I just think some Arsenal fans might be wondering what it is that he's done, that's all. Are they ever going to find out?
Whatever happens in the dressing room, I'm sorry, I cannot share. I can share it, and I'm telling you the reason. I'm not going to lie, it was that, and this is where I stand.
OK, we'll come to Aubameyang shortly. But Martin, impressive win eventually for Arsenal. Took a bit of time to get going, and perhaps a slightly flattering result. But the first goal was a thing of beauty.
Oh, it was. But it was a difficult 20 minutes. And Arteta really, having lost the last 2 matches away from home, he knew that high press was going to come. He stuck to his philosophy. And at the beginning, I was a bit worried that it wasn't really working. You see here, they give the ball away. Southampton, brilliant at pressing. Didn't really punish Arsenal when they needed to. It just wasn't happening. Didn't have the options on the ball. Forced back on occasions and just left kicking it long. But they stuck to their philosophy, and the goal is a thing of beauty. It starts here. We've moved it on 3 or 4 passes, but look at the triangles, the shapes, and Southampton quite don't make the press. They keep missing. They play it beautifully through the lines, and then they get it into the front 3, and they're away. And Saka then just travels with it nicely. Look at Lacazette in the middle there, just waiting for that ball, and he puts it away beautifully. That's like on the training ground. It's a magical goal from an Arsenal point of view.
Brilliant finish, eh?
Yeah, it's exactly how Arteta wants them to play.
So everybody
really pleasing to see.
Play, I imagine. Despite the 3-0 scoreline, though, Alan, once again, Aaron Ramsdale was busy and was brilliant.
Yeah, he was very busy, and he did everything right. Some of his saves, again, were superb. 7 clean sheets now for him in 13 games. He was used a bit more often than Arteta would have liked, but that's a good save down to his right-hand side. Good, commanding, come for the ball, take the pressure off his defenders. But what about that for a pass?
Brilliant.
I mean, that is incredible. We know he's capable of doing that. We've seen that a few times this season, Martin.
His character that he's brought to the team. 2 back-to-back relegations. You'd never have believed it. He's exceeded expectations. He keeps getting better and better. The fans love him because when it matters, he makes really top saves, and he's on it. His concentration was brilliant in this game today, and he's going from strength to strength.
Yeah. Aubameyang, it's not the first time something like this has happened, Alan, isn't it? He was left out. I think he was on the bench, wasn't he, against the Spurs game in March?
Yeah.
This is the second time. We don't know quite what the reasons are, but disciplinary action again for the club captain. That's an issue, isn't it?
It's unacceptable, yeah. For the second time, for it to happen once, not very good, but for it to happen again, and for his manager have to come out and criticise him as the way he did and tell everyone that, again, he's had to leave him out for those reasons. No, it's not good.
And I think
as an Arsenal man, it's worrying that, isn't it?
Well, the captaincy's in question now. You can't keep being late or disappearing on trips abroad and not coming back on time. Your team needs you, and he's not there.
Nelly as well. I think he gives them something completely different. So to go with Saka and Smith Rowe and Odegaard on the score sheet, I think that's 3 on the bounce for him. If he can sort the midfield out, the balance there, I think Arsenal are going to be on to a good season. The only question is what is, top 4 doesn't look realistic. So it feels like 5th for a club like Arsenal is the best they can do right now.
Would that be a good season, finishing 5th for Arsenal?
Yes, I think it would, and possibly a run in a cup competition. But This is a season of progress for Arsenal. I think it's going to be a process. A young, Owen mentioned the back four there and the goalkeeper. They're all 23 years old. If they can keep that unit together for a year or two, it could be really strong. And when you play together on a regular basis, you only get better. So I think it's good times for Arsenal going forward.
The Arsenal fans have something to be happy about, which is good. What about Southampton? 10 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. What is it that's not quite clicking for this side? Because we have seen them in the past perform brilliantly and they've always been really good to watch. But this season, they're not getting the points.
No, I think personnel-wise, I don't think they're one of the best teams in the division. I like Ralph Hasenhuttl. I think he's a good manager, positive. He's aggressive, goes after everyone. They press, tries to get a hold of the ball. I think losing Danny Ings was a big blow. Goalkeeper, they've had some injuries there. So I think it's a big blow. You think about the top of the pitch in goal, having issues there. Goal scoring, I think, has been an issue for Ralph this season. And but I think the manager is probably their biggest asset there. And I think the club need to back him, maybe get 1 or 2 in the window to help through a difficult period.
Yeah, I think Southampton fans are a bit concerned they could well get dragged into that relegation picture.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I did worry for Southampton start this season. I mean, last season they started like a house on fire and slowly declined throughout the season. So that start of 10 points behind, it's a little bit skewed. But for me, when you look at those teams around the bottom of, I say, the bottom half of the Premier League, and you take a goal scorer, a guaranteed goal scorer like Danny Ings out of it, that's a big, big problem. Like I said, Newcastle, you take Callum Wilson out of that, they're down. So when you take a guaranteed 15 to 20 goals a season out of a average team, an average Premier League team, that's a big, big loss.
Well, let's move on and turn our attention to the Friday night game.